Hello everyone, Natno here, and I'm just here to document something that I found that I haven't seen documented anywhere else. In Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, when you get to Hearthrome City for the first time, you have to do an event involving the contest hall. Then after that event finishes, your friend will be waiting for you outside of Hearthrome City. Like this. I named him named them Guard. And the fact that my name is Hostage should give away what's happening here. There is no way to leave Hearthrome City until Guard is defeated, or whatever you called this guy. Now there is one major issue with that though. If you actually look at this team, it's just a level 5 Abra that only knows Teleport. This Abra is not winning this battle. So we may have an issue on our hands. There's no way to leave Hearthrome City until this battle is complete. All three of Hearthrome City's exits are blocked by this guy. That's 208 to the west, 212 to the south, and 209 to the east. Okay. And I don't just mean it's like you would need a ridiculous sequence of events to win this battle. I mean, this battle literally isn't winnable. I actually looked at the trainer AI for Diamond and Pearl. First off, Guard will not switch out their Starly. They have other Pokemon, but they will not switch out the Starly because they only switch under very specific circumstances that we cannot induce. As for the Starly itself, it has 4 moves: Quick Attack, Wing Attack, Endeavor, and Double Team. Quick Attack and Wing Attack will always take us out in one hit, 100% of the time. However, Double Team and Endeavor will not. It can use any of its moves at random, keep in mind. With one exception. Double Team raises evasion. If the Starly's evasion has been raised 6 times, it will not be able to raise its evasion again. And that the AI is smart enough to know I shouldn't use Double Team when I am at plus 6 evasion. As such, it can only use Double Team 6 times. Endeavor only has 5 power points, which means it can use Double Team 6 times and Endeavor 5 times before it's forced to use something else. And that something else is Quick Attack and Wing Attack, which means it can spend up to 11 turns doing nothing, and then it will always kill us on turn 12. So this Abra can't defeat, and for those 11 turns, 12 technically, Abra will just be stuck using Teleport. So, which doesn't do anything in the trainer battle. So there is nothing we can do against this Starly, at least not right now. What other Pokemon do we have access to? Spoiler alert, nothing. We don't have any other Pokemon on this save file. All the other Pokemon we had have been released, including our HM users. Because for whatever reason, you can release. There's no failsafe for releasing Pokemon that have cut or Rock Smash in Gen 4 in Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. I don't know why, because there are failsafes for other HMs such as Surf, but there's no failsafe for Rock Smash and Cut. So it let me release everything else just fine. Okay, so we have nothing else. So we're just stuck with this Abra for now. Can we catch other Pokemon? Well, not really. Like I said, before beating Guard, we have access to Hearthrome City, and that's it. Amity Square is off limits because we don't have any of the Pokemon that can actually enter Amity Square. Not that it would matter because we can't find wild Pokemon there anyway. And again, there's no wild Pokemon inside Hearthrome City. The only Pokemon that gets given out in Hearthrome City in Diamond and Pearl are the Eevee and the Happiny. That's not an option. Because the Eevee only shows up once we get the National Dex. We are nowhere close to the National Dex. And the Happiny is, by sheer bad luck, on the other side of guard. Like, the guy who gives out the Happiny Egg is just south of us right now. And we can't get there without fighting the guard. So, we don't have access to any other Pokemon other than the Abra. Okay, so this Abra can't beat it under its own power. Can we give anything to this Abra to help it fight better? Well, like I said, we cannot fight wild Pokemon at all. So it can't gain experience like that. For trainer Pokemon, that's also not an option. Because the only trainers in Hearthrome City are the guard itself, for one, the guard himself, and the Hearthrome City gym. Now, the Hearthrome City gym actually sounds quite promising, because there are a bunch of trainers in here. However, in Diamond and Pearl, we can't actually fight the Hearthrome City gym right now. We have to do a bunch of story stuff first, and then come back to the Hearthrome City gym much later. We have not done that stuff, and there's no way to do it without getting past guard. Because it involves beating other gyms, then going to Celestic Town, and all that kind of stuff. So, that's not an option. The trainers in here are not an option. Okay, so we can't fight trainers, so we cannot gain experience. Again, if we could just beat the guard Starly, we would be able to gain experience off of it, and then go from there. But we can't do that either. Okay, what about TMs or HMs? Can we teach Abra any TMs or HMs that would help it? We have one TM and 2 HMs right now. We cannot pick up any more because there are no more in this city. Okay, Stealth Rock won't help us, but we can't learn it anyway. What about Cut? Can we teach Abra Cut? No. Can we teach Abra Rock Smash? Also no. So no, we don't have any TMs or HMs that would help us. This Abra is stuck only using Teleport. Okay, what about items? Because maybe we can find some item sequence that would work. Now, this actually is quite promising, because we have access to a lot of items right now. This is because, while we don't have access to all of Hearthrome City, we do have the pokemart. And we can buy as many things we want. Now, you would think that money would be an issue, because, how can we get money? But money is actually not an issue at all. Because we have access to the Explorer Kit, which means we can go to the Sinnoh Underground, get items, and then bring them back up. Oh yeah, you cannot find wild Pokemon down there in the original Diamond and Pearl game, so we can't fight wild Pokemon there either, but we can get items. Even if the items we get down there won't help us, we can sell them for money, which you can use to buy items at the Pokemart. So we actually have access to a lot of items. They don't really help us, though. Most of the Sinnoh Underground stuff doesn't work in battle, and most of the stuff that does is stuff like the Damp Rock, Heat Rock, those kind of rocks. All the plates are down there. Iron Ball doesn't help us. The only items that might theoretically help us are the Revive and Max Revive. However, we only have one Pokemon right now, so the Revive and Max Revive don't actually do anything. As for the Pokemart itself, it does sound promising to get potions and super potions. Because if we can survive a hit, then we can theoretically use these to heal forever. And then the Starly would run out of power points, struggle, and then it's dead. And then we gain experience off of it, and then repeat. But again, we can't survive a hit. Both Quick Attack and Wing Attack are guaranteed to knock us out in one hit. Now, if we were able to use an X Defend, then we would be able to gain defense, and if we could use enough of them, maybe we could survive stuff. We don't have access to X items in these games, though. The first place to get X items is the Veilstone department store, but we're not in Veilstone City, we're in Hearthrome City, so that's not an option. Yeah, none of these items seem to do anything that would actually help us. This guy's not any better. Okay. So, like I said, it doesn't seem like there are any items that can help us. Held items don't also seem to work either, because, again, there just aren't any that would be useful to us. There is a Shell Bell, but what's a Shell Bell gonna do? And that's kind of it. So, so to recap, we're stuck with just Abra, We can't fight wild Pokemon or train our Pokemon to gain experience. We can't fight wild Pokemon to catch and use them against the battle. We have Pokeballs, but we don't have wild Pokemon. We don't, so we're stuck with just the Abra. It's always going to be level 5 because it can't gain experience. We don't have any TMs or HMs we could teach it, and it will always die on turn 12 of the battle or sooner, without dealing any damage to the Starly. We're completely stuck. Now, as a last resort thing we can potentially try and do, what if we trade? Because we can theoretically trade this Abra for something else that can help us, and win the battle like that. Is that an option? No. Because, fun fact, you cannot trade Pokemon in these games unless you have at least 2 Pokemon in your party. We only have 1, so trading isn't an option either. So yeah, we can't even trade to get out of this. The global trade system, even if it was still online, also won't help us for the same reasons. So we're completely stuck here. This is a soft lock. This is a total soft lock as far as I know. Now, I don't believe this works in the other Sinnoh games. In Platinum, there are trainers who can fight forever in the Pokemon Center, and theoretically you might be able to beat those. I didn't look into them, and then gain experience off of them. Maybe? So I don't think this works in Platinum. And Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, this does not work. This is because of the friendship/affection mechanics in those games, where if this Abra has high enough affection, then it can theoretically tough out any hit that would KO it. You can then use a potion to bring it back up to full health and repeat forever, to stall the Starly out of PP, defeat it, gain experience, and go through the whole stick like that. It's super RNG based and unlikely, but it could theoretically be doable. That's not an option in Diamond and Pearl. So yeah, in Diamond and Pearl, I'm pretty sure this is just a soft lock, and we're stuck here forever. I haven't seen the soft lock documented anywhere, so I wanted to document it. And that's all. If you think you have any ideas for getting out of here, let me know, and I'll see what I can do. That's all.